Cut day is here, and we have the Bears' initial 53-man roster. So I'm going to walk you guys through the entire 53-man roster, give you guys my thoughts and more. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Thought back at it with another video talking some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below and make sure to hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. I promise you don't want to miss out. All right, so we get the initial 53-man roster. And let's just go through it real quick before I do. I promise you this is not going to be the final 53-man roster. I think there's going to be a wave of moves being made, notably from other teams cutting players and the Bears potentially picking those guys up. This was just what the Bears needed to do to get the roster down to 53 by the 3 p.m. deadline today. So, quarterback. Let's start there. Caleb Williams, Tyson Bagent, Case Keenum. No surprises there. I told you guys the Bears would be keeping 3 quarterbacks, and that is exactly what they ended up doing. Case Keenum and his experience in this league was too invaluable for the Bears to cut him, and so they are going to carry 3 guys, and I got no issues with that, all right? Moving on to the running back position, DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson, and Kyle Manengai. Now, you might be thinking, really? 3 running backs? That feels pretty light. And that is because it is Travis Homer, who was the guy that I had making the team with the 4th spot, was placed on IR, according to the Bears. So they definitely need some running back help here. Now, again, Roschon Johnson and Manengai could be ready for week 1. I expect them to be, but still, 3 running backs is just too little. You need to at least add 1 more guy. And so, I talked about this the other day where you could potentially go out there and see, who's available on waivers. Cam Akers got released by the Saints. A couple other guys. I think Audric Estime got released by the Broncos as well. So there are guys out there that you could potentially look at. But yeah, you definitely need another running back here. 3 running backs is just not enough going into week 1. So I expect the Bears to make a move here. Moving on to the wide receiver spot, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Olamide Zaccheaus, Luther Burden, Devin Duvernay, Jahdae Walker. Here we go. Big round of applause for Jahdae Walker making the team. I did have him making the team, and that's just because he flat out deserved it, folks. Like, the whole point of Ben Johnson and the culture he's setting is to earn your roster spot. There is nobody who earned their roster spot more with his play than Jahdae Walker. Every time he was given an opportunity, he made the most of it, and that is exactly what the culture should be. Reward guys that earn their roster spot. So I'm so happy to see Jahdae Walker making the team. 6 receivers might seem like a bit much, but he was just making too many plays for you to not have him on the team. So I love this by the Bears. Moving on to the tight end position, we got Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland, and Durham Smythe. That's exactly what I had as well. No surprises on that one. Offensive line, Braxton Jones, Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, Darnell Wright. The projected starting lineup for week 1. And the backups, Ozzie Trapilo, Theo Benedict, Luke Newman, Ryan Bates, and Kieran Amagaji. That is exactly what I had as well. I told you some beat reporters did have the Bears cutting Kieran Amagaji, but I just couldn't see it at a position of need. And a guy in Kieran who's had flashes during the offseason in training camp and, in mini camp and whatnot and OTA. So to me, I felt like, being a 3rd-round pick and at a position of need, you probably didn't want to give up on him just yet. And so I had him making the team, and that's exactly what ended up happening here. So no major surprises here, folks. So, I expected Theo, Luke Newman, Bates to all make the team. 10 guys on the O-line. Feel pretty good about that. Moving on to the defensive end spot, Montez Sweat, Dio Adegbo, Austin Booker, Dominique Robinson, Daniel Hardy. No surprises there. I had all those guys making the team. Daniel Hardy was just making plays out there, so I love to see him get rewarded. The D-tackle spot, Grady Jarrett, Javon Dexter, Andrew Billings, Shamar Turner, and Chris Williams. So Chris Williams here making the team. He did make this the defensive line over Tona Kay, who did get cut. That was one guy that I did have making the team. So it's basically Tona Kay, getting cut for Chris Williams. I had him flipped, but no issues there for the Bears as far as the defensive tackle spot, and no other surprises there, right? Billings making the team. There were some rumors floating around that he might not make it. That was ludicrous. He was always going to make this team. And then you get Shamar Turner, the rookie. Linebacker spot, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Noah Sewell, Ruben Hippolyte, and Carl Jones. The only name that's a surprise here is Carl Jones, but there's a reason for it. Amen O, who was the guy that I had making the team as the 5th linebacker, he was also placed on IR, designated to return alongside Travis Homer. So that is why Carl Jones made the team on the initial 53. Cornerbacks, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Nashawn Wright, Josh Blackwell, and Nick McLeod. I had 5 guys make the team as far as the cornerback spot, so I did not have Nick McLeod. But looking back on it, that was a little light, so I should have known the Bears were probably going to carry 6 cornerbacks, and that's exactly what they ended up doing here. So Nick McLeod does make the initial 53. Moving on to safety here, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, and Elijah Hicks, and Jonathan Owens. No surprises there. And then finally, special teams with Cairo Santos, Torrey Taylor, and Scott Daly. So overall, not a lot of surprises here for the Bears. And I told you this, at the D-line position, you flip Tony K for Chris Williams. A couple of guys are on IR with Travis Homer and Amen O. And that's why you have, certain guys making or not making the team. So overall, no major surprises here for the Bears. I think they did exactly what I would have liked them to do. Jade Walker making the team. Love that. Tyler Scott got cut. Zach Pickens also got cut. Both of these guys deserve to get cut, folks. Tyler Scott, I'm sorry, just has not put in enough of, a sample size out there for us to feel good about it. And he had opportunities to make plays on special teams and wasn't able to do that either. Zach Pickens has been a disappointment. Again, this is a reflection on Ryan Poles for obviously missing out on a 3rd-round pick in just 2 years. And we have to cut him. That was disappointing. But those were really the only other names out there. Britton Brown got cut. He was a running back on our team. But I expected that to be the case. I think he'll be on the practice squad. So right now, when I look at the 53-man roster, what I'm looking at is we definitely need to add another running back. That absolutely needs to be the case for the Chicago Bears. And then it's like, okay, can you go out and see if you can, fill up some other positions of need like edge, maybe a left tackle as well, and see where you go from there. I definitely do expect a couple of moves to be made for sure by the Bears. I would be shocked if there are no moves made, and this is the final 53-man roster. But my overall thoughts, I'm good with it. Solid decision-making. No major surprises there. A couple of guys being hurt sucks, but overall, the process was solid. I like the initial 53-man roster. Let me know what you guys think about that. Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.